I was reading an article about vegetarians and how being a vegetarian, you're still, killing a thing, And so I thought I would draw some fun, angry vegetarians. Here they are, peace loving, they would never hurt a cow. And I decided to experiment with the teeth. Now, when you're drawing a fist from this angle, one of the easiest ways to do it is have the pinky go straight down the wrist while the thumb is always a bump out. That'll give the feeling of a simple kind of a fist. So we've got our angry vegan, and I'm already noticing a bit of a problem with the composition. Oh, I just got a message. So I'm going to have to draw an arm behind him so that the left arm is going to be coming down behind all of this. Here like this. Somewhere there's going to be an arm, and it's going to kind of block the silhouette. Now, we're going to talk a lot about silhouettes in today's cartoon of these angry vegan vegetarians. And you want to have these nice look of a plant here, so I want to have these very simple but clear leaves, so that the viewer knows that they're leaves. Now, again, the idea of a silhouette means that when you turn the lights off, we'll do that later, when you turn the lights off, you'll see the silhouette of everything clearly, the break, the little chunks here, the fists, the head, and eventually I'm going to have to find a way to put this arm behind it so that it doesn't block or ruin any of the clean silhouette we've got going right now. Initially, I go with devil red. Why not? If we've got this evil / loving person who doesn't kill animals but only eats vegetables, why not go with red devil? But then it starts to look a little too like Christmas to me. So I'll eventually change his color. I play around with the background color. At first I decide that I'm gonna make all the teeth white, and then I go crazy and I decide I'm gonna make a yellow tooth to be playful and interesting, but I found out I felt it was a little too distracting to have this tooth be yellow. I make some of the chunks of the plant yellow to have a little bit of contrast and make it a little more interesting, but I don't know if it helps or not. I think black is just fine, especially for a good silhouette. Black is best. And here's where I decide, no, not going to have some distracting story about some yellow tooth guy. Although I guess you could say that maybe somehow eating only sugar cane caused him to have yellow teeth. Here's a nighttime look, black, daytime, blue skies, yellow. I love playing with this background, the color wheel here to experiment with what I like best about the background. So if we're going to want a good silhouette, I was thinking it might be important maybe to change this plant from being up here to droopy. Like maybe have a droopy plant so that, I don't know, just to help it to really feel like it's dying. And I could have gone that direction, but I chose not to. Blue Man Group, obviously the culprit destroying all the plants of the universe. This area here is our star. We don't want to impede that area with the drawing of the arm in the background. So I try to find the best way to put an arm in that won't obscure any of it, or I know the arm will be behind it, but you want it to be more like this. You want it to be an arm that doesn't conflict at all with the silhouette. And I'll show you later what I mean by silhouette. I might even show you right now. That's what I mean. When you turn the lights off, you want it to read nice and clearly that there's a breakage going on and nothing is blocking the silhouette. I'll show you again in a moment, but this is the arm I eventually go with. I take away the green connective tissue here so that, again, nice clear silhouette. There's a break going on. If there's any little bit of connection, that could confuse the silhouette. You can even take away the eyes and the mouth there, and it still should read as a human being breaking something. These little dots should be black. I'm not going to bother making each one of them black. And so now here we've got our plant murderer. But you know what? It would be nice if he had a partner in crime. Here's a nice gesture line here, line of action. I'm going to draw a guy punching out a plant. Maybe we'll combine them later, but that initial line of action is so important. I know I talk about it pretty much in every video that I make. Now this initially I thought was going to be just a quick sketch to describe to you what the line of action can do. I wind up going with this as pretty much the final drawing. I make some changes, but you want something like this, an action line like this, or even a subtle line. You want something like this to read clearly that he's standing there and he is punching with that right hand through this plant. Now here we'll use that same line of action to draw a different punch pose, just to show you how that one line can always help to create action. Now, it doesn't have to be action sometimes. It can be just somebody I'll do a whole cartoon about this in the future. It can be just somebody leaning on like a mantle. But the way that they lean with their elbow on the mantle, here I'm talking about something I'm not drawing, but the way that they lean on this, mantelpiece should also have a gesture. But in a big action pose like this, you definitely want a gesture. You definitely want a line of action. I ultimately feel like this one is a bit more weak, although it certainly is fine. It's more like a crazy dance move. It looks like a karate chop combined with West Side Story. And I do ultimately go back to the other one, but I enjoyed drawing this. But it doesn't have the swoop that we want. It follows the line, but his belly that's drooping down, kind of goes against the swoop. You see how this one works better? It all moves along nicely. His belly is sucked up into the line. Now, I did think I'd want to try maybe a different kind of a head here to give more of a silhouette, right? To give more of a silhouette on the pose. Because this in a silhouette the head would be kind of blocked if you turn the lights off. The head would be absorbed into the arm, but if you had a head up here, it would be more possibly a better silhouette. To be honest with you, I drew this a few days ago and I'm only doing the commentary now. I don't remember what I go with. Oh, it looks like I go with a hybrid of it. I change the head from the way it was and I have it sort of scoop up a little bit so that the arm is not completely obscuring the head. Now here you don't want the eye you want to be careful where you place the eye because you don't want the eye to be up above, intersecting with the first line of that arm, the top line. I'll show you in a second. I'll just crank out some quick breakage dots here and fix up the pot a bit. Now here, we don't want the eye to go down here, intersecting with that line. Also, we don't want it going up here, intersecting with the other arm line. We want to put them right in the middle here. I wind up doing a big swoopy eyeball. Love that one. That's the one I go with. I can only do that kind of a line by just drawing it quickly. I can't plan it out or pencil it in first. Just gotta go with it, make a nice big arc, and if I don't like it, erase it and start another one again. I do a little cleaning up here. Again, the idea of a silhouette. Oh, the cops are coming for me. I gotta go. Let me finish this drawing up quickly before they arrive. I definitely want to, I want to put this arm up higher with the fist in once again, a nice silhouette. I'm gonna move it up here so that it's away from the body and that everything reads nice and clearly that he's in action, he's a human being, he's got two arms, and this is just again, these are decisions I make as I move along. Now, I couldn't do this if I was working on ink and paper. I'd have to really plan it out better. Now here comes the big payoff. Will it work as a silhouette? You bet. It's going to read nice and clear. We can even get rid of that eyeball eventually. But it's so clear what he's doing. He's leaning forward. His weight is on his right foot. He reads as an angry vegetarian, whether his eye is in there or not. He's breaking a plant. We can add some leaves to it later so it's more clear that it's a plant. But a good silhouette should tell the same story so that when you then have all the color in there, then it looks even better and it reads even better. But it should always read as a good guy, like in a dark room with no lights on, with just a light behind him, breaking foliage, or as Dr. Tipinelli would say, foliage. I experiment with a better silhouette of the smiling mouth here, but in the end, it's fine to have it just be the mouth the way that it was. I add some of those leaves, as we talked about, and now, even more fun, an entire opera. We'll put them together as a scene. Here they're facing off the edge of each side of the page, him to the left, him to the right. I decide it works better, I think, to put them sort of facing each other, so it's kind of like a more intimate. As you go from one face, you go to the other face, rather than the faces leading you off the page. Either is fine. It could be argued that this one has more tension. He's kind of going off one direction while one guy's going off the other direction. But I like the idea of having it be a circle, like going from one face to the other, all within a nice infinity loop. And so here we have it. Look at the nice payoff here of this silhouette. Good reading of the action. Even if his eyes and his teeth weren't there, you would still know that this is two human beings, two angry vegans who hate the planet, who just want to kill every plant. Thanks for watching. Please click subscribe and ring the bell, and check me out on Twitter and I don't know anywhere else, TikTok, other places. Take care.